Health experts introduced death audit review to check increasing maternal deaths in the Upper West region. Doctor-patient ratio in the Bono East region worsens. And Upper East region gets 18.5 million Ghana cedi transit truck park to facilitate ECOWAS trade. And on the foreign front, jihadist attack in Mali kills 27 soldiers. You're live on GBC News. It's time for news coming to you live on GBC News and GTV. Good evening. I'm Seyoko Kwakucha. Welcome to the news. 11 more Ghanaian students who fled the war in Ukraine have returned home to reunite. This brings the number of Ghanaians evacuated home to 74.
The Ethiopian airline international airport at about 11:30 a.m. The fourth batch of Ukraine-based Ghanaian students were happy to be back home. The evacuation exercise, led by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, has so far been successful in bringing home 74 Ghanaian nationals. The ministry says it is only evacuating Ghanaians who are willing to avail themselves of the exercise to return. It says it will not be responsible for those who decline the opportunity to be evacuated. The government spokesperson on security and governance, Mr. Palgrave Bachi Dankwa, said the government will provide psychosocial help to the returnees.
As many as are willing to come, government has taken full responsibility for their airfares. Government has taken full responsibility as well for their accommodation. And we are happy to report to the good people of this country that so far we have accounted for close to about 600 people that have left the shores of Ukraine. There are students that are finishing school in 2 months. There are students that have a year to go. There are students that have clinicals to do. And so government with the Ghana Medical Association, Clinical Association, the Psychological Association, and the goal is to engage these students so they can go through some debriefing sessions.
The leader of the group, Mr. Emmanuel Achen, shared his experience in Ukraine and thanked government for the intervention.
I spent some few days in the bomb shelter myself, and I know it's not a comfortable situation. They have been there for about a week. I know government is doing their best. Other institutions are doing their best, but we just want to plead that they should continue to work harder so that they can all come home and also meet their parents.
46 more students will be evacuated on Monday, March 7, 2022, to bring the total number of Ghanaians evacuated to 132.
The Upper West Regional Health Directorate says it is introducing a death audit review to check the trend of maternal deaths in the region, which increased from 22 in 2020 to 28 last year. The regional director of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Damien Punguiri, announced this at the 2021 Annual Health Sector Performance Review at WA.
The performance review meeting also considered the district assessment league table, activities of COVID-19, the preparedness of communities towards controlling meningitis, and the contribution of development partners in the health sector. The regional director, Dr. Damian Punguyiri, said, in spite of the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, the region performed well in providing quality health care to the people. Dr. Punguyiri spoke about strategies adopted to reduce maternal deaths in the region.
In the year under review, the region recorded 28 maternal deaths compared to 22 in the previous year. Moreover, the decline in neonatal deaths is not commensurate with the level of investment in maternal and neonatal health in the region. As part of the strategies to reverse this worrying trend, the region has prioritized to focus its fight against maternal and perinatal deaths by focusing on the quality of death audits reviews.
The regional minister, Dr. Hafiz Bin Sali, was not happy with the attitude of some healthcare providers whose actions led to preventable deaths.
Maternal and perinatal deaths are a result of the behavior of both health providers and health seekers. This brings us to a critical discussion of the professional conduct of health providers The agency to provide health care is what defines a health professional. However, some health professionals are very slow in responding to their duties, leading to irreparable damages. I therefore would like to entreat on the Ghana Health Service to design punishments for individuals who fall victims to the recklessness of some health professionals.
The Director of Internal Audit of the Ghana Health Service, Mr. Frimpong Boateng, outlined measures being instituted to ensure clinical transparency in the operations of the service.
It is not just enough to develop these policies without ensuring their effective implementation. For the policies and the guidelines to make the desired impact, we must, as a service, resolve to widely disseminate and make them operational. Council urges management at all service levels to accept this challenge and make it a priority to disseminate the policies and the guidelines and ensure their effective implementation.
A newly reconstituted Upper West Regional Health Committee was sworn into office.
Statistics from the 2021 Annual Health Performance Review meeting of the Bono East Regional Health Directorate show that the doctor-patient ratio in the Bono East region 2021. Other figures were on the family planning acceptor rate for 2021, which was 41.5%, a target of 40% for 2020.
The Bono East region has received 709,418 doses of COVID-19 medication. 513,773 doses have so far been administered, with at least 346,408 residents receiving at least one dose, while 189,702 residents are fully vaccinated. The eligible population for COVID-19 vaccines in the region is 1,774,063. At the 2022 Annual Performance Review, the Bono East Regional Health Directorate said their tracer medicine availability keeps on failing from 84.9% in 2020 to 74% in 2021. Institutional malaria under 5 case fatality rate rose from 0.20% in 2020 to 0.24% in 2021. Malaria mortality rate worsened from 0.01% in 2020 to 0.03% in 2021. On the theme, Sustaining Quality Service, Lessons from COVID-19 Pandemic, the Bono East Regional Director of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Fred Adumako Boateng, said the theme reflects that quality service delivery cannot be sacrificed or suspended in the midst of any pandemic.
Both national and regional attention is focused on the pandemic, which tends to overshadow other relevant issues, with their consequences if not attended to.
The Director of the Health Promotion Division at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Dacosta Abuaji, encouraged the public to patronize all essential health care services as a right to enhance their wellness.
The Health Promotion Division of the Ghana Health Service, recognizing this, has set up a national misinformation task force to deal with myths, rumors, and address hesitancy and increase uptake of the vaccination exercise. And I will encourage the regional team to also follow our footsteps by setting up the misinformation task force with the various champions, the health volunteers, the NGOs, and all the stakeholders to address the myths.
On behalf of the Council, parent of the GHS, the Deputy Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Anthony Adofo Ofosu, said high on the agenda of the Council is clinical governance.
We shall do our best as a Council to provide effective oversight of the finance and other resources of the service. Also high on our agenda is clinical governance. We shall ensure that appropriate mechanism is put in place to support management to strengthen quality assurance, clinical audit, research and development, and risk management in order to ensure accountability, efficiency, and effectiveness of clinical activities in the service.
The Chief Director of the Bono East Regional Coordinating Council, Mr. George Padmond Mensah, charged the Bono East Regional Health Directorate to focus on improving neonatal mortality outcomes in 2022 while improving upon the gains, especially on maternal mortality.
Within a period of 1 month, July to August 2021, a total of 455 positive cases were recorded with 18 deaths. This was far higher in comparison to the 788 cases, positive cases, and 14 deaths recorded in 2020. We declared COVID-19 a security threat and activated the regional and district COVID-19 task forces made up of security personnel, health workers, NANOM, religious leaders, and the media.
The institutional maternal mortality ratio dropped from 92 per 100,000 live births in 2020 to 71 per 100,000 live births in 2021, compared to the national target of 125 per 100,000 live births. The neonatal mortality rate also worsened from 6 per 1,000 live births in 2020 to 8 per 1,000 live births in 2021.
An 18.5 million Ghana cedi transit truck park has been inaugurated in the Upper East region to facilitate transit trade across the West Africa sub-region. The project, which covers an area of 30,000 square meters, is expected to actualize the country's quest to becoming a preferred transit corridor for landlocked and other Sahel regions.
Ghana's transit trade is estimated to generate 134 million Ghana cedis annually. In pursuance of this set target, regulators in the road transport sector are working to actualize Ghana's vision to becoming an economic gateway for trade across the sub-region. As a leading trade and logistic hub of West Africa, the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority has over the years taken steps to address the bottlenecks in the road transport sector. Some of the interventions include a robust axle load regulation, digitized paperless system, and due delays and bribery. Others include the removal of illegal highway checkpoints that impede transit trade. The chief executive of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, who inaugurated the Paga Transit Truck Park, said the authority is working to ensure the country becomes the preferred transit corridor in the sub-region.
We've always said it in our promotional efforts that our focus is to become the leading corridor. And indeed, because the ports are not just what is in Tema and Takra, every road that links to the port, every corridor that maritime transport passes through or cargo flows through is part and parcel of the port. The ports are excellent and the road is bad. Cargo cannot flow in and out. That is part of the effort that has resulted in the investment that has been done in this.
The board chairman of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Mr. Isaac Osei, said the facility will enhance mutual cooperation among the Sahel regions and charged the officials to maintain the facility. The Minister for Transport, Mr. Kweku Forisiama, said government is investing in port infrastructure to facilitate international trade and help leverage the country's economic potentials.
This government is very passionate when it comes to the facilitation of international trade, because it comes with a lot of benefit and leverage for the country and sub-region as a whole. The park, until its construction, was not the best parking point for trucks. Several challenges faced by transit truck drivers on corridor tended to make our transit corridor unattractive. I am therefore elated that the Ghana Port and Harbours Authority voted resources for the construction of this beautiful truck park in Paga to serve our cherished transit traders in the landlocked countries.
Mr. Salifu Amos La of Hippo Transport spoke about some challenges that transit truck drivers face.
First, na omunye pakono. Na difficult my say, ya dry, ye nayum, any did you near Pacample Cano, ne high dream. And then your main child, Minister Webano Bede, or Becketis Space wedding, Edemai.
The facility has a parking lot, a shed for Islamic prayers, and a washroom.
Ghanaians have been cautioned against dumping solid waste and other materials in sewers, which often leads to the breakdown of the system. The Waste Management Director at the Tema Metropolitan Assembly, Mr. Derek Anku, who made the call, said that although the Denmark government has made strides in providing resource and capacity building to help improve Ghana's water sector, it behoves citizens to change their attitude towards waste management. A report by Ofrewa Dakun.
When a stoppage occurs in a sewage system, eventually there will be an overflow in the sewer, leading to the point of blockage. Streets, homes and businesses can be damaged from the debris, where human health can also be threatened with unsanitary conditions and the spread of germs and disease. This can also lead to a major breakdown of sewer systems in the country, especially in the Greater Accra region.
We have our manholes all silted, the supply lines, that is collection lines, all blocked. Most of these challenges are from our own behavior. People put in whatever material into our sewers. Whenever we have cause to do rodding or desilting of drains, you can imagine the kind of materials we find in these sewers. You will come across jeans, trousers, towels, sponges, just to mention the list.
The Chief Manager of Technology and Innovation at the Ghana Water Company, Mr. Richard Appiah-Otu, said that indiscipline exhibited by consumers is contributing immensely to non-revenue water, and this includes illegal connection. According to Mr. Appiah-Otu, the Ghana Water Company incurs so much losses as a result of this.
We have a tendency where the culture of dishonesty in society come in, where people now, instead of doing legitimate connection, go to do illegal connections. You see, and pipes are like electricity and telecoms. Pipe materials are not directly intelligent network. You need a lot of money to invest in intelligence to be able to determine if water is being stolen. So people do connections, build properties on it, and it's almost very difficult to determine whether this place has legal connection or no illegal connection. So we have that component contributing to the revenue water.
The free flow of wastewater goes a long way to prevent sewage blockage. Cleaning and inspecting sewer lines are therefore essential to maintaining a properly functioning system. These activities contribute a lot to wastewater infrastructure. Hence, Denmark and Ghana's long-term collaborations to improve performance levels of the sewer systems in the country, ensure access to safe water and sanitation, a key factor in general public health. For GBC News, Ofrewa Dakun.
At a Danish Water Day seminar held in Accra, partners in the water sector from Ghana and Denmark expressed their commitment to develop cutting-edge solutions for a robust water sector in the country using technology. A report by Ofrewa Dakun.
Denmark is a front runner in water technology and known for high quality and sustainable solutions, as well as strong technology expertise. It has one of the lowest non-revenue water levels globally. Only about 7% of water is lost before it reaches the consumer. To help find long-term solutions to challenges affecting water supply, like non-revenue water, broken and choked sewage system in the country, 7 Danish water technology companies have shared ideas with their Ghanaian counterparts to help transform the sector.
Product from our side, but I think more importantly, we need to figure out some ways to to manage the aquifer and to enhance the recharge and to make use of the cloudburst water that is actually really, really high quality water that is lost.
From pumping to chemical treatment of water in the country, the manager of water utility and water treatment at Grundfos West Africa, a Danish technology company, Mr. Emmanuel Kwayeboa, said that Danish water solutions have been made available to address most of the critical needs in the sector, especially the Tema Central sewage system.
What Grundfos come in play, looking at the demands of the Tema Municipal, is to, we are part of the Danish community, and I mean, there are funds available depending on, for example, with the Aarhus partnership. This would definitely bring bear to Grundfos equipment, and then we can begin to bring our solutions on board.
For the past 60 years, the Tema Central sewage system, which serves a population of 450,000 people, has not received any major facelift. But with support from the Danish government, the story of Tema sewage system will soon change for the better. For GBC News, Friwadako reporting.
Ghanaians have been encouraged to embrace the E-levy to enable the government to mobilize adequate funds for economic development. The E-levy town hall meeting train was at Ho in the Volta region to educate the people on the essence of the levy and to solicit feedback and inputs.
The Volta region is the fifth to be visited for such engagement on the E-levy after similar town hall meetings at the Western, Eastern, Northern and Upper West regional capitals. Participants included heads of civil and public services agencies, departmental heads, representatives of civil society groups, the security service and the general public. Speakers led by the Minister for Finance said the E-levy is to expand government's tax net for development. Majority of the audience who had the chance to ask questions were, however, of the view that the E-levy will be a burden on the incomes of workers. The Finance Minister, Mr. Ken Oforiatta, however, stated that the country is at a crossroad where funds have to be generated internally to develop sectors of its economy. He said majority of citizens, especially in the informal sector, do not honor their tax obligation, hence the introduction of E-levy to get every worker to pay tax. Mr. Oforiatta said, among other things, the E-levy can generate enough revenue which will be channeled into assisting the youth to create their own businesses to curb the rising unemployment rate in the country.
This year's budget, the adjunct budget, as we named it, is essentially to say how do we turn ourselves into an entrepreneurial state, a state in which people are given the skill set to be able to start their own jobs and grow the economy.
The Minister for Railway Development, Mr. John Peter Mewu, and the Chief Executive of the National Youth Authority, Mr. Pius Hajite, were hopeful that the Ministry and Authority will have the opportunity to access adequate funds to embark on development projects when the E-levy is passed into law.
If somebody is telling you the alternative for revenue domestic mobilization is to go and borrow, that person is telling you a great lie. Because even if you borrow, you have to mobilize the resources internally to pay for it. So there is no alternative.
Even though we have increased the numbers in the public sector, in the long term, that is just to create an effective public sector to service a performing private sector.
Meanwhile, the controversial Electronic Transactions Bill, E-levy Bill 2021, is likely to be on the agenda of Parliament next week. According to the Deputy Majority Leader, Mr. Alexander Apenyomakin, the E-levy bill falls under the programs proposed for consideration by the House next week. The Member of Parliament for Buim requested to know a specific date on which the E-levy bill would be considered by the House. The Minister for Roads and Highways, Mr. Kwesi Amwakwata, also said the government may securitize proceeds from the yet-to-be-approved E-levy to raise revenue to construct more roads. A Deputy Minister for Finance, Mr. John Kuma, earlier denied rumors that the E-levy will be used to raise bonds for the country, but answering questions in Parliament on Friday, the Roads Minister said that option was on the table to rake in more.
These are what identify a people. Even their gait as traditional leaders is in rhythm with an accompanying music. The smock has become the official and traditional wear of chiefs at various functions in the Upper East region. Traditional music from drummers, guitarists and women groups at derbes is being promoted by traditional leaders at events to instill the cultural values and standards in the younger generation. Chief of Kotintabuk at the Nabdam district, Biliasong Langwat, said preserving culture promotes development and unity. He pledged to play his role in this direction.
In the modernized traditional setup, we view culture as a way of spearheading the development in our communities. The festival further seeks to showcase our rich traditional culture to the outside world while providing a platform for our local drummers and dancers to exhibit their skills and talents. I wish to promote, protect, and preserve our traditional values.
Sometimes people wonder what makes the kings, chiefs, and traditional leaders look bulky in their traditional wear, but it is not far from the fact that one can wear about 4 to 5 smocks at a go for an occasion. It adds to their majestic look, helps them move rhythmically to the music, and adds to their prestige as traditional leaders. The Member of Parliament of the area, Dr. Market Nawani, who was also present in his local attire, commended chiefs for using culture to promote development of the district.
I also encourage chiefs to initiate projects. When you initiate a project, you give us that moral authority as politicians to assist you to complete the project. And so the MP can use part of his common fund to also assist you.
Many say traditional wear should not only be worn for annual events, but must be worn often, especially for ceremonies. The Belenkuru Festival, which was celebrated with a theme promoting socio-economic cultural development through traditional leadership and community participation, is to promote development and provide jobs to the people through culture. Peter Agengre, GBC News, Bolga.
Ghanaians home and abroad have brainstormed on areas of collaboration to advance Ghana's socio-economic development. A two-day event by Ghana Action Forum to further this cause had the theme Building Home and Abroad for Ghana's Development.
Evidence demonstrates that Ghana's diaspora community is one of the most influential and impactful diaspora communities in the world. According to the World Bank, even during a global pandemic that saw the world's economy decline, diaspora remittances to Ghana in 2020 shot up by 5% to $3.6 billion. Ghana Action Forum focuses on bringing Ghanaians in the diaspora together and facilitate their return to the country. The media engagement highlighted the benefits of returning home, providing opportunities for engaging the diaspora in public and private partnerships and policy issues towards economic growth. The wife of the Vice President, Hajia Samira Baumia, emphasized the benefits Ghana had had since hosting the Year of Return and Beyond, with 5% increase in its remittance regardless of the COVID-19 crisis.
The Ghanaian diaspora is considered a key ally and strategic resource by the government of Ghana in her development efforts. Beyond the well-known practice of sending remittances, diasporans also promote trade, foreign direct investment, create businesses, spur entrepreneurship, and transfer new knowledge and skills. There are many returnees who contribute meaningfully to society.
The Chief Executive of Africa Health Holdings, Dr. Sangudeli, urged participants to build integrity in their dealings as they desire to collaborate in achieving economic growth of the African continent.
The Achim Kwabin Presby Primary School which has been in a deplorable state for years, has been renovated to improve academic work. The project, which is 95% complete, is funded by a Cuban citizen living in the United States of America.
The Achim Kwabin Presby Primary School was established in 1957 by the Kwabin Presby Church as a private school and was later absorbed by government. The school has over the years not had any major renovation which affects academic work. The head teacher of the school, Mr. Michael Asamoah, said the school closes early whenever it is about to rain due to the poor nature of the structure. This, he says, affects teaching and learning.
Oh, it is going to help us in our course of learning, because these days we are not going to close as we used to close. When it is raining, we will still be in class because the buildings are now in good condition.
A Kwabin citizen living in the United States of America, Dr. Thelma Seima Asari, said the project is part of her contribution to augment government's effort to promote quality education in the country. She said this will not be a 9-day wonder, but more will be done to help develop the Kwabin township and its environs.
All the prominent who live in the U.S. with me, everybody's schooled here. I hope that other people who also went to school here will contribute and do something.
You're still watching News Hour, coming to you live on GBC News and GTV. We're taking a short break. We'll be back with a business segment. Please don't go away. Of food products with imports of agricultural and related products estimated to have reached $2 billion in 2019. Experts say Ghana's food and agricultural imports will continue to grow until the country beefs up its industrialization drive to add more value to agricultural produce.
Food imports to Ghana mostly comprise bulk, intermediate and consumer-oriented commodities such as rice, wheat, sugar and poultry. Ghana is ranked the second largest importer of tomato paste in the world, with a consumption average of 25,000 tons at the cost of $25 million every year. According to the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Ghana's agriculture production meets only half of domestic cereal and meat needs and 60% of domestic fish consumption. This presents an opportunity for companies that can bridge the gap. To improve value addition to agricultural produce in Ghana, Agritech West Africa 2022 has been launched in Accra. The head of agribusiness unit at the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Mr. Jeremy Opoku-Agyemang, says government is up to the task in ensuring that the agriculture sector is industrialized. The project director of Agritech West Africa, Mr. Thomas James, said Ghana was chosen to host the Agritech West Africa Fair due to its sound economic credentials in the sub-region.
Agriculture is also a sector which is already exporting from Ghana, and it has immense potential to grow and get value add for its future. So this sparked the mind and the thought to have the show in Ghana. Moreover, thematically, when it comes to the region, West Africa, Ghana is one of the very fastest growing market and the country in the region.
The Chief Operations Officer of the Ghana Chamber of Commerce and Industry says players in the manufacturing sector welcome any program directed towards value addition of the country's natural resources.
There is an opportunity for us to network and increase whatever we are doing. We believe that Ghana has the potential to increase its produce on the international market in terms of the goods that we produce. Wherever we go, people are clamoring for made in Ghana goods. So this is an opportunity for us to scale up and make our products available on the international market.
Agritech West Africa 2022, scheduled for the 23rd to the 25th of March 2022, will be held at the Accra International Conference Center.
Still in business, an investment forum to strengthen the industrialization drive of the central region has taken place in Cape Coast as the region prepares to host Ghana's independence anniversary celebration tomorrow. The forum targeted young entrepreneurs in the region and also sought to encourage students to venture into entrepreneurship.
The central region is often touted as a region with numerous investment opportunities and resources, including human capital, land, good road network, peaceful environment, closeness to port and the national capital, as well as availability of some social infrastructure. Historically, the central regional capital, Cape Coast, was the gateway to the then Gold Coast. It was the focal point for trade and commerce. Unfortunately, the region is currently said to be one of the poorest in the country. Stakeholders have been worried and looking for avenues to change the narrative and return the central region to its economic glory. Currently, the central region's economy has transformed from being primarily tourism-based to one supported by industry, agriculture, mining and others. As the central region prepares to host the independence anniversary, an investment forum aimed at highlighting the investment opportunities in the region has been organized. It was to prepare the minds of the students yet to graduate to venture into entrepreneurship and create jobs for themselves and others. The Central Regional Minister, Mrs. Justina Marigold Assan, highlighted some of the investment opportunities.
The Central region is well positioned to welcome investors to come and put their money where they can also get back what they have put into the region.
A former member of parliament for Infantiman, Mr. Stephen Asamoah-Boateng, noted that the region abounds in numerous opportunities and called on all to come and invest in the region.
The key thing is leaving here is to talk to investors and give them the concessions they might be interested in. And of course, that will help us to create the employment, and that's what we look at the employment side and work on the issue.
Sharing the Kumfi Juice experience, the Director of Operations of the company, Mr. Frederick Kobina Aqua, said the region is the best place to invest.
Our land is suitable for a wide range of crops, and that means that if we do industrial setups that will process these produce, then we stand a better chance of developing the region from all of this.
Some young exhibitors have been speaking to GBC News.
I work in Maternity Poultry. We make flower pots and we are into gardens also.
My expectation is that I'll get some more contacts, if not at least purchases. So if I get contact with people who are interested in my service, that will be okay.
And that's it for your business.
Star of Ghana, Nkrumah, Star of Ghana, everybody toils of the brave, and the sweat of their labors, toils of the brave, which have brought rain